Hey you! Yeah, you. Are you negatively impacted by the flaming ball of hydrogen and helium in the sky that constantly raises your HVAC bills? If you or a loved one is similarly impacted by a ball of helium and hydrogen burning doing nuclear fission in the sky, then this video is for you. Today, we're installing Chris Dawa light filters for the sun doors so that we're never again negatively impacted and our HVAC costs aren't raised. Let's go. So I'm not an avid reviewer of sun blinds, so I don't know if this is good or bad packaging. I did install some IKEA smart blinds in the bedroom, so this compares pretty comparably. I mean, what can one expect from blind packaging? Installation instructions. We want to do the outside edge window frame because it's on the door. Basically install the brackets using the screws and make sure they're level and spaced correctly to suit blinds. Okay. So things to note was that it was like surprisingly easy to unpackage. Here I'm trying cinematic mode. Thank you so much for your purchase. Thank you so much. Everything's included in this box. Let's see what's in the box, and then let's get it on the blind. Door. An important thing to note is that it is kind of sorta already getting warm in here. So that's why we're doing this video in the first place. In the summers, you see all the windows closed. That's why we're going to be tinting this, because it gets real hot here in South Carolina in the summer. So this video log will also probably be split across multiple days, because that way we could do, I thought about doing scientific stuff, but we will do it anecdotally. So we will anecdotally say, hey, does the room feel better? Warning, the tension device reduces the hazard. Warning, the tension device reduces the hazards of strangulation or entanglement by limiting access to the cord or bead chain. Anchor the device with the cord or bead chain to the wall or floor, so young children cannot pull the cord or bead chain around their necks. Always keep cords out of the reach of young children. We also have plastic brackets and screws in the box. Some instructions. I'm gonna read those. Brackets for the other side. Okay, we're good. We're good. Check the room face of the blind. Decide which side you want the chain on the blind. Attach the controller and end plug. This is the controller. The side of your choice. So a little bracket goes around this guy, and the end plug goes on the opposite side. Where's the little square bracket? There it is. Easy so far. The bead chain is hitting the metal bracket, so now it wasn't sitting flush, but now it is. Bracket A is the one with the little flat thing. That corresponds to the controller. Attach the brackets to the blind. That's it, that's all it says. Okay. So on the left-hand side, it's not fully grasping, and on the right-hand side, it just goes into the pin. So the instructions say to measure the blind by putting it wherever you're gonna hang it, but as you can see, it turns out the brackets don't sit flush, so you can't actually measure it. So we're gonna use a tape measure and get all the proper measurements. So the instructions are bad. What we should instead do is we should put this on the table, and then using a tape measure, just measure the distance between the holes. So let's do that. All right, with the thingies flush, the distance between the holes, 25 inches. So to make this consistent, I first use a tape measure to go 1/2 inch on either side. And then I did this and put 1.5 inches up. And now we know exactly where to put the holes on either side for them to be nice and level, assuming this frame is level. Basically make the holes, put the holes in. You have an option of a ceiling mount or a wall mount. And then this is really descriptive. It just says install the brackets. I guess this like square bracket wasn't really tensioning my ball and chain thingy. Not the wife, the curtain. So we'll see how that goes. Super convenient drill. Super convenient, upgraded, super thick battery pack. Links in the description. If your doors are wooden, this should be a very straightforward process. But mine were metal. It's a thin sheet of metal on either side. And so the process became kind of sort of really complicated because first I tried just screwing it in, which obviously didn't work because the doors are metal. Then I made pilot holes, but the pilot holes were too small and the metal frame ended up getting warped. Then I essentially went back and forth multiple times between making the hole marginally bigger and trying to get the screws in. If you have a metal door like me, my biggest recommendation is to go carefully and go slowly. Bring a couple of different sized drill bits so that you don't make your holes too big, and that way you shouldn't have as much difficulty as I did getting this procedure done. I feel like that was more challenging than it should have been. We're in mirror now, front facing camera, so everything looks backwards. I feel like that was like way more challenging than it should have been, but from my experience working with metal windows and door frames, always is. We're supposed to somehow install this controller bracket and then just push the right side in. What we observe is that we mounted the brackets way too far, so now we have to loosen them all, push them inwards, and then call it a day. So we have to remove the center screws in order to do so. That reminds me, the kit comes with 6 screws and 3 holes on each bracket, so it stands to reason to make it more stable by putting in 3 screws, right? Wrong. Do not use the middle holes. The 2 extra screws atop the 4 standard ones are for your ball and chain mounting plastic mechanism thingy. Only use the 4 screws and only mount them in the slidable holes in the brackets, the wider than usual holes, so you can slide the brackets around for adjustment. So now I press it in. There we go. Now we simply, what do you know? That is so much better. This already feels substantially better. Yes. Is it perfect? No. Obviously, when you open the door, you move the handle around, it's going to move around. It's going to move. Okay. I kind of like this thing. It actually stays pretty close to the door, which is nice. These beads are pretty convenient. And there is already a pretty substantial temperature difference in the office. I was standing here sweating when installing this metal door. I don't feel my face. I especially don't feel my face getting baked by the sun. So would I recommend this? Yes. You can either buy the one linked in this specific one linked in the description. Be prepared to suffer through an installation with metal brackets. This one is also going allergy season, about to sneeze, directly in the kitchen here. Although this side is less troublesome because the sun is always on that side. So the second blind is literally for appearances. And now that we're on this side, I remember to show you what it looks like from the outside. I'll make a follow-up comment if the sunshade ends up getting burnt on the outside, but why should it? Because like blinds are always facing the sun, right? And it's specifically designed to be facing the sun. Can you see indoors? No. Will you be able to? Most likely when it's dark inside, because you can still see from the inside in the office. Let me show you what I mean by that. Because of the way physics works, if we can see outside, because it's brighter outside, this is what we can see. I think the blind is rated for 5%. Well, this is the amount of detail we'll be able to see at nighttime indoors as well. So these are not completely blocking like the existing blinds. But that's all for today's video. I sincerely thank you for tuning in. We'll do the bi-decorative film window tinting in a separate video so we can make the title and the links super clear that this video is about these blinds. But this has been step 1 in combating the sun. If you or a loved one are also impacted by the sun, please like and subscribe below. Thanks for watching me struggle with the installation today. I sincerely appreciate y'all and have a great day, as always. Let's try that again. I mean, I appreciate Siri too. P.S. I almost forgot, this is the child safe fed device. So you pull this plastic lip onto the chain, you screw it in here, which we'll do and not film this since this is pretty straightforward. And then it keeps your chain always tightened on the left-hand side. Postscript. This is the next one installed. It makes everything look so cozy. And this is what it looks like inside. So, If we're outside, we can see inside about 5%. And if your door is open, you can definitely see on the inside. And you can still see some details with 5% light.